Order something or get out. The voice is coarse. Greasy, like the film on the tabletop. Elias Vance runs his finger across. He looks up from the worn menu, his gaze calm, meeting the manager's irritated stare. The man's name tag reads Sloan. It is pinned crookedly on his stained uniform shirt. I'm deciding, Elias says. His tone is even, unbothered. Sloan scoffs, a wet, dismissive sound. He gestures vaguely around the half-empty diner. This isn't a library. It's a business. My business. You've been sitting here for 10 minutes, nursing a free water. Now you either buy food, or you leave. Elias looks at the cheap watch on his wrist. It has been 4 minutes. Not 10. He files the small exaggeration away. It is another data point. He closes the menu. I'll have the Grand Slam breakfast. 2 eggs, over easy. Wheat toast. Bacon, extra crispy. And a black coffee. Sloan does not write it down. He just grunts. Coffee's extra, I would assume so, Elias replies, his voice still placid. The manager narrows his eyes, searching for a hint of sarcasm, of disrespect. He finds none. Elias's expression is a placid mask. It seems to annoy Sloan even more than open defiance would have. He turns on his heel and stomps toward the kitchen pass-through, barking the order to a cook. Elias watches him go. He is here for a reason. This specific location, the Sunrise Griddle Unit 714, is a bleeding wound on the balance sheet of his company. Vantage Hospitality Group owns this chain. It owns 5 other national restaurant brands, 2 hotel empires, and a luxury resort line. Elias Vance owns Vantage Hospitality Group. He built it from a single diner he inherited from his father. A diner that valued 2 things above all else: quality food and absolute respect for every single person who walked through the door. This place, Unit 714, has forgotten the second rule. Maybe both. Anonymous complaints flood the corporate ethics hotline. Staff turnover is a revolving door. The district manager, a man named Reynolds, files reports filled with excuses. Plumbing issues. Bad location. A lazy local workforce. Elias knows excuses. They are the weeds that choke a business to death. So he came to see the garden for himself. He is dressed for the part. Worn jeans, a faded gray hoodie, scuffed work boots. He looks like someone who might be struggling. Someone easily dismissed. Someone Sloan can bully. A young woman approaches his table. She looks terrified. Her hands tremble as she places a mug and a small carafe of coffee on the table. Here is your coffee, sir. Her name tag reads Maria. She cannot be more than 20. Thank you, Maria, Elias says, his voice soft. He offers her a small, reassuring smile. She flinches when Sloan's voice booms from across the room. Stop fraternizing with the customers, Maria. Get back to wiping down booths. Maria jumps, her face flushing with shame. Yes, Mr. Sloan. She scurries away without another word. Elias pours his coffee. He takes a slow sip. It is lukewarm. Burnt. He makes another mental note. The coffee is the first thing a customer tastes. It sets the tone for the entire meal. This coffee tastes like apathy. He sits. He waits. He observes. 15 minutes pass. Other customers who arrived after him receive their food. A family of 4. A businessman on his laptop. Elias's table remains empty. Sloan bustles past, pointedly ignoring him. He is making a show of being busy, of being in charge. He laughs loudly with a regular at the counter. He berates a busboy for dropping a fork. He is the petty king of his little, failing kingdom. Elias does not flag him down. He does not complain. He simply watches the clock on his phone. He is documenting the timeline. Every slight, every delay. It is all evidence. Finally, Maria approaches his table again, her expression pained. Sir, I am so sorry about the wait. I will go check on your order right now. That's all right, Maria. It's not your fault, Elias says quietly. She gives him a grateful look and hurries to the kitchen window. Elias can hear the exchange, even from his booth. Where is the order for table 7? Maria asks the cook. What order? The cook grunts back. Sloan appears at the window, shoving Maria aside. I never put the order in, he says, loud enough for Elias to hear clearly. Guy like that. He's probably just waiting for a free meal. Says his food never came. We get his kind in here all the time. The prejudice is thick in his voice. Unconcealed. Elias feels a familiar, cold anger settle in his gut. He controls it. Emotion is a liability right now. He needs data. He needs irrefutable proof. He discreetly slides his phone out of his pocket. He places it on the table, screen down. He taps a sequence on the side buttons. A tiny red light, nearly invisible, begins to pulse. The audio recording is active. Maria comes back to the table, her face pale. I am so sorry. There was a mix-up. The manager, she trails off, afraid to finish the sentence. He never placed the order. Elias finishes for her. It is not a question. She nods, her eyes welling with tears. He is having a bad day. It seems that way, Elias agrees. He looks past her, directly at Sloane, who is now watching them with a smirk. Elias raises his voice just enough to be heard across the room. Manager Sloane, may I have a word? Sloane saunters over, his chest puffed out. The performance is for the other customers. He wants to show them how he deals with trouble. Is there a problem? Sloane asks, his voice dripping with false concern. I was just wondering about the status of my order. The Grand Slam breakfast, Elias says, his tone perfectly level. Clinical. I placed it approximately 25 minutes ago. Sloane feigns confusion. He taps his temple. Order? I don't recall an order. Are you sure you placed one? Maria, did this man place an order? He puts the young woman on the spot. He forces her to choose between the truth and her job. Elias sees the panic in her eyes. She looks from Sloane to Elias, her lip trembling. Yes, he did. I heard him. Sloane's smile vanishes. His face twists into a mask of fury. He turns on her. Are you calling me a liar? In front of my customers? No, Mr. Sloane, I think you've been a little confused today, Maria, Sloane says, his voice low and menacing. Maybe you need some time off. Unpaid, Elias intervenes. His voice cuts through the tension like a scalpel. To be clear, Manager Sloane, are you stating that I, the customer at this table, never ordered food from you? The question is precise, legalistic. It throws Sloane off his rhythm. I'm saying there's no record of it. Sloane snaps back. And now you're harassing my staff. I think it's time for you to leave. I will leave after I receive the breakfast I ordered, Elias states calmly. Or after I receive a clear refusal of service from you. A refusal? Sloane laughs. You got it. We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Get out of my diner. And on what grounds are you refusing service? Elias presses. The phone on the table is capturing every word. Sloane's face is turning a blotchy red. He is losing control. He is used to people cowering. He is not used to calm, relentless questions. Loitering. Creating a disturbance. I don't need a reason, he spits. This is my place. I make the rules. Maria, seeing her chance to de-escalate, to save the situation, makes a brave decision. She slips past Sloane, goes to the kitchen window, and speaks directly to the cook. Make a grand slam. Now. I'll pay for it myself. The cook, wanting no part of the manager's drama, quickly plates the breakfast. Bacon, eggs, toast. He hands it to Maria. She turns, the plate in her hands, a desperate peace offering. Here you are, sir. I am so sorry for the misunderstanding. She tries to place it on Elias's table, but Sloane moves with surprising speed. He snatches the plate from her hands. What do you think you're doing? He snarls at her. The plate tilts. The eggs and bacon slide off the edge, splattering onto the grimy linoleum floor. A collective gasp comes from the few other patrons watching the scene unfold. Silence. Sloane looks down at the mess on the floor. He looks at Maria's horrified face. He looks at Elias, whose expression has not changed one bit. The manager's rage boils over. The calm, silent man in the hoodie is a mirror, and Sloane does not like the reflection. This is the breaking point. Elias sees it. The moment an employee is not just humiliated, but broken. The moment a customer is not just ignored, but assaulted by proxy. This is no longer about bad service. This is about a fundamental abuse of power. That's it. Sloane hisses at Maria, his voice shaking with fury. You're fired. Get your things. Get out. You are fired. Maria bursts into tears. Not quiet sobs, but a raw, heartbroken wail. She covers her face with her hands and runs toward the employee locker room. Sloane watches her go, a cruel, triumphant smile on his face. He has reasserted his dominance. He has won. He turns his attention back to Elias. Now, as for you, he says, pointing a trembling finger. I am calling the police. You are trespassing. He pulls out his own phone. He starts to dial. It is at that moment that Elias Vance stands up. He is not a tall man. but he carries himself with an authority that suddenly fills the entire room. His placid calm is gone, replaced by an aura of absolute command. The hoodie and worn jeans seem to fade away, irrelevant. "That won't be necessary," Elias says. His voice is quiet, but it cuts through the diner like a razor. Every head turns toward him. Sloan pauses, his thumb hovering over the call button. "Manager Sloan." Elias begins, his tone formal and final. "Your employment with the Sunrise Griddle is terminated." Effective immediately, Sloan stares. For a second, he is just confused. Then he lets out a bark of laughter. A loud, ugly sound. "You're what? You're firing me? Who in the hell do you think you are? Some kind of secret shopper?" He laughs again. "Get a life, buddy. The cops are on their way." Elias does not raise his voice. He does not need to. "I am not a secret shopper," he says. He picks up his phone from the table. "I am your boss." He makes a call. He does not wait for an answer on the other end. He puts it directly on speakerphone. A crisp, female voice answers on the first ring. "Cynthia." "Elias." The voice replies. No surprise. No hesitation. "Is it time?" "It's time," Elias confirms. "Initiate Protocol Omega. Location is Sunrise Griddle, Unit 714. I need the regional response team. That's legal, human resources, and corporate security. I also want you to contact District Manager Reynolds and inform him he is to report to this location within the hour. Tell him his career depends on it." Sloan's face has gone from red to a pasty, sickly white. The blood drains from it. He recognizes the name Reynolds. He understands the language. "Protocol. Response team. This is not a prank." "Understood, Mr. Vance," Cynthia's voice says from the phone. "We have a team mobilizing from the downtown office now. ETA is 15 minutes. Is the situation secure?" "The situation is contained," Elias says. "But the asset is compromised. We have a Code 5 termination for cause: hostile work environment, flagrant discrimination, and willful destruction of company property. Also, a wrongful termination of a loyal employee. Copy that, Mr. Vance." "We are en route." The line clicks off. Elias pockets his phone. He looks at Sloan. The manager's jaw is hanging open. He is trembling, no longer with rage, but with pure, undiluted terror. The other customers are silent, their phones now openly recording the scene. "Mr. Vance," Sloan whispers. The name seems to catch in his throat. He knows the name. Every employee of Vantage Hospitality Group knows the name. The founder, the CEO, the man on the cover of Forbes magazine last year, the man in the corporate training videos. But that man wore a tailored suit. That man was polished, powerful, untouchable. He was not this man. This man in a hoodie. I don't understand," Sloan stammers, taking a step back. "You understood perfectly when you told me to get out," Elias says, his voice devoid of heat, but heavy with judgment. "You understood when you humiliated your employee. You understood when you threw my breakfast on the floor. You made a series of choices based on what you saw. You did not see a customer. You saw a target." Maria emerges from the back room, her eyes red and puffy. She is holding a worn backpack. She stops dead when she sees the scene. The manager, her tormentor, looks like a cornered animal. Elias stands before him, a figure of impossible authority. True to Cynthia's word, 15 minutes later, 2 black sedans pull up outside the diner. 3 people in sharp business suits enter. A woman with a severe haircut and an iron gaze leads them. Cynthia Blackwood, the chief operating officer. She walks directly to Elias. "Mr. Vance," she says with a crisp nod. "The response team is here. Legal and HR are ready to take statements." She glances at Sloan, her expression one of utter contempt. "I assume this is the manager." Sloan looks like he is about to collapse. "Please, Mr. Vance, it was a mistake. A misunderstanding. I was under a lot of pressure." Elias holds up a hand, silencing him. "Save it for your official statement," he says. He then turns his attention to Maria. "Maria, may we speak with you? You are not in any trouble. In fact, you are the only person in this building today who has acted with integrity." Maria, stunned, can only nod. The next hour is a blur of efficient, corporate deconstruction. One of the suits, a lawyer, takes Sloan into a booth and begins a formal interview, reading him his rights as an employee under investigation. The HR representative sits with Maria, taking her statement gently and professionally. Cynthia and Elias stand near the counter, speaking in low tones. Elias plays the audio he recorded. Cynthia listens, her face growing harder with every prejudice slur, every dismissive remark from Sloan. The file on him is illuminating. Cynthia says, looking at her tablet. 12 formal complaints in the last 2 years. All of them filed with District Manager Reynolds. All of them marked as resolved with no action taken. Reynolds is an enabler, Elias says. The rot goes deeper than one manager. It always does. Sloan is officially terminated. He is escorted from the building by a member of corporate security. He does not shout. He does not protest. He just shuffles out, a broken man, his petty kingdom dissolved into nothing. He is informed he will face a civil suit from the company for damages to its reputation. Just as Sloan is leaving, a frantic, sweating man in a cheap suit runs in. District Manager Reynolds. He sees Elias and Cynthia, and his face goes ashen. Mr. Vance. I came as soon as I heard. I had no idea. You had 12 ideas, Mr. Reynolds. Cynthia cuts him off, her voice like ice. 12 complaints that you buried. You are on indefinite, unpaid suspension. Our legal team will be in touch. Reynolds opens and closes his mouth like a fish. No sound comes out. He is waved away by security. With the mess cleared, Elias walks over to Maria. She is sitting in a booth, sipping a bottle of water the HR rep gave her. Maria, he says gently. First, I want to apologize. You should never have been subjected to that environment. That is a failure of my leadership. She shakes her head. It's not your fault, sir. It is my company. Which makes it my responsibility. He corrects her. Which is why I want to make it right. You are, of course, rehired. With full back pay for any time you were unjustly disciplined. Thank you, she whispers. That's not all, he continues. For the last hour, I have watched a woman who stood up for a customer, who showed initiative, and who valued service above her own comfort. That is the definition of a manager. Her eyes widen. I am offering you the position of interim manager of this location. Effective immediately. We will provide a corporate trainer to work with you for the next 30 days. You'll receive a 60% pay increase, and if you succeed, the position is yours permanently. Maria stares at him, speechless. Tears begin to fall again, but this time they are not tears of sorrow or fear. They are tears of shock, of hope. Me? A manager? She finally chokes out. I don't see anyone else here more qualified, Elias says with a sincere smile. She nods, a huge, trembling smile breaking through the tears. Yes, I accept. Weeks later, Elias stands in the main boardroom at the Vantage Hospitality Group headquarters. The room is packed with executives and board members. A large screen behind him displays a new logo, the Unit 714 initiative. He clicks to the next slide, which shows a picture of Maria, smiling, standing proudly with her staff in a newly renovated and bustling Sunrise Griddle. We are a $20 billion corporation, Elias says, his voice resonating through the silent room. We have systems for accounting, for logistics, for marketing. But our system for listening to our own people failed. It failed Maria. It failed the employees who left. It failed our customers. He looks around the room, making eye contact with every person there. The Unit 714 initiative is a complete overhaul. A new, anonymous, third-party ethics reporting system that bypasses the direct chain of command. A mandatory respect in the workplace training program designed from the ground up. And a permanent, well-funded undercover executive program. I will be going out. Cynthia will be going out. Each of you will be going out. You will work a shift, eat a meal, and see our company through the eyes of the people who are its heart and soul. He pauses, letting the weight of his words settle. A company is not its stock price or its quarterly earnings report. It is a promise. A promise to our employees that they will be safe and respected. A promise to our customers that they will be valued. Today, we start keeping that promise again. From the ground up, the room is silent for a beat. Then, one board member stands up and begins to applaud. Then another. Soon, the entire room is on its feet, a thunderous ovation filling the space. Elias Vance nods, his work just beginning. The rot was cut out. Now, it was time to rebuild. Stronger. Better.